经营者，我是崔燕。印度企业在 IT 外包市场呢一直占据着很大的份额，但随着中国企业在这一领域的崛起，印度公司能否继续保持他们的领先优势呢？好，今天我们就来认识一下印度第4大软件商 Satyam 软件技术公司的创始人，来听一听他的见解。机会主义的风险家 Ramalinga Raju 把这家 IT 服务公司推上了世界舞台。这一家当时出于兴趣爱好而建立的公司，现已跻身印度增长最快的企业之列。
I had this notion that getting into a knowledge industry is going to be more exciting, and then that you can be more creative. Now I have learned subsequently that is far from the truth, that there is opportunity for creativity in every business that you conduct.
在印度最古老的城市之一海德拉巴 ，Raju 建立了 Satyam 这家现代科技企业，开始经营他所说的知识产业。公司的迅速崛起吸引了印度许多富有远见卓识的人才。
This led us to get into this business as something that came closer to my heart and my colleagues' hearts.
出生在印度的 Raju 在美国俄亥俄大学取得了 MBA 学位，从家族纺织和建筑生意起步，在1987年转变了阵营，创立了 Satyam。当时 Raju 对于软件业了解不多，更不用说管理一支技术团队了。但是他却坚信他的公司一定会发展壮大。
Right from the beginning, realized that services are here to stay. It was not very difficult for us to gaze the opportunities out there. The size of the global economic pie is now $42 trillion, and 71% is in services. And we were always confident that more and more proportion of the services will shift towards virtual platforms, and that was in a way our specialization.
Satyam 在梵文中的意思是真实，他在业界摸索出一条利润丰厚的外包道路，为跨国企业提供会计、金融、呼叫中心等各种功能的后勤软件支持。但是 Raju 清醒地认识到，真正的巨大收入来源在于海外市场。
The initial opportunities, as were traditionally understood, were providing services to domestic companies. But very quickly we realized that that's not going to define our success. We felt that our success is going to be around servicing the rest of the globe.
Raju 通过提供低成本的境外服务，抓住了海外市场的机遇。但是在早期，这种概念的营销是非常困难的。
Those were very tough times, when you went out and reached out to a customer, and you had to explain not just about yourself but about the country. And many times, you would carry the world map so that you could show to your customers where India is.
攻克美国市场是 Satyam 的第一次突破。发展出 AT&T、极易等大客户以后 ，Satyam 终于在2001年在纽约证券交易所实现了上市。
We were broadening and deepening our services portfolio, and this has shown to our customers now our capabilities to be quite significant from their strategic decision-making point of view, and that certainly helped.
只用了短短20年 ，Satyam 就从一家100万美元的公司发展成为年收入近15亿美元的软件巨头。目前 ，Satyam 的业务网络覆盖了55个国家。
Today, a large part of your revenue still comes from the U.S. There is growing talk about a recession, given the problems we're seeing in the housing and credit markets. Are you worried how this might impact outsourcing when it comes to the U.S.?
At one time, it was more than 80 or 85% dependence on North American markets. Now it is about 60%. And Asia Pacific has grown to have a size of 18% of our revenues, and 20% of our revenues come from Europe. So in that sense, we are operating in a more de-risked model, and this de-risking is not just geographical in nature. It is also sectoral in nature. Now we operate in 12 different sectors. Going by the past few years record for a company like Satyam, which has been growing at 35 to 40%, one is to conclude that so far the growth story has been good.
由经营者，我们今天的嘉宾是 Satyam 软件技术公司的创始人兼主席 Ramalinga Raju 先生。这家专注于商务软件的公司呢，目前是印度第4大软件商。
Despite Satyam's impressive growth, analysts say you've lagged behind your larger Indian rivals in the industry. What happened, and what are you doing to catch up?
There are companies like TCS, Infosys, and Wipro who operate at higher levels of revenues, and therefore, as compared to them, we are a smaller company from a revenue perspective. But in given sectors, we have been able to establish a leadership of our own. So we have highest respect for some of our competitors in India, and we have carved out our own niches. So if an investor has invested $1 in 1992, he would have been rewarded with $900 today. So that, in my opinion, is by any standards an impressive accomplishment.
To help you counter these wage pressures, you've been rapidly expanding into China. You say you want to increase the number of engineers there to more than 3,000 by the year 2008. How cost effective is it for you to operate in China right now? Are you getting the right technical and language skill sets?
We are not going to China just for cost reasons. We are going to China to meet our customer demands, and there are many instances where our customers, many times these being global players, have operations in China as well, and they would much rather work with us than someone unknown to them. So in order to create those operations there that would create comfort for our customers, we would be best placed to have our operations accessing the Chinese talent. And in that sense, this has been a successful business model for us.
So, it's so competitive in China right now. Last year, IBM commanded the largest market share. Other prominent foreign players include HP and Accenture. How are you strategizing your move into China?
First of all, we are regarding China as strategically important for us. Just to clarify matters, we don't regard ourselves as an Indian company any longer. We are a global company. We don't regard offshoring as one which is only particular to India. Offshoring is about lower cost, but at the same time much higher value services that we can provide. And therefore, offshoring for us is what we do in India, what we do in China, what we do in Malaysia, what we do in Egypt, or Budapest, or Sao Paulo.
There are some who predict that China will overtake India when it comes to IT outsourcing. Do you think that's going to happen?
I think overtaking is a very big phrase. It would do well, because India has something like 15 years of greater experience, and therefore, if it does things right, it may continue to be the leader. But it doesn't mean that China does not have opportunities. It's like asking a question as to whether India would overtake China in manufacturing. And the answer from my perspective would be that India can also do a fair amount of manufacturing activity as compared to China, but China would continue to be the leader.
There was a lot of speculation that you were ready to exit Satyam and that IBM was doing due diligence on the company. Any truth to those rumors? Are you open to being acquired?
See, first of all, there is absolutely no truth to whatever rumors one may have had, and we have, in very categorical terms, denied those rumors. Therefore, the answer to your question is that our commitment levels continue to be very high, and we have no other alternative plans.
Right now, you and your brother run the company. Have you ever thought about succession issues? Who's going to take over from you one day?
We think of this all the time. We have an internal mandate that everyone should identify at least 3 people who could potentially replace them.
Have you identified that group of people to take over you and your brother one day?
We do evaluate that very, very closely, and in that sense, I must say that we have done a reasonably good job.
You're in charge of 42,000 people in 55 countries. In an industry where turnover is high, how do you motivate and retain talent within a company?
We have to reward people well. We believe that if we are able to grow our associates as professionals faster than other organizations, our associates see a lot of value in that. Our success is going to depend not on just attracting good Indian talent. In fact, our success is going to depend on how we attract global talent.